I've been a civil designer and using Civil 3D almost every day now for 20 years. Over that time, I've noticed something interesting. The biggest delays and issues on projects aren't necessarily difficult design problems, they're actually caused by a handful of common mistakes and workflow issues within Civil 3D and the design and project organization. In today's video, I'm going to be pointing out and fixing 7 of the biggest mistakes civil designers and engineers are making on every project. Before we jump in, I want to thank ECOPIA quickly for sponsoring today's video. If you need base data for any of your civil and infrastructure projects, check out the ECOPIA platform. It uses AI and high-res imagery to automatically generate vector data and objects for you. This allows you to get base data for projects practically anywhere, quickly and accurately. Check them out in the link down below, and we're going to look at them a little bit more later in the video. One of the first and biggest mistakes you can make as a civil designer or engineer is not having a proper organization system for all of your files. This is especially important with Civil 3D because there are so many related shortcuts and CAD files that go along with them and the design process. So in an example here, I've got a messy CAD project. You can see I've got just a basic CAD folder within my project, and it's just got a ton of files dumped into it. I've got everything from my CTB and line type files to some of my design files and production drawings, all kind of mixed in along with references and even zips and other folders that aren't organized, dated, or descriptive. This is going to cost you time along the way, as well as a ton of time at the end of the project when you're looking for things and trying to package stuff up to send to a client. The best thing you can do in Civil 3D is to have an organized project structure before you begin. So if we look at one that I typically recommend, that is having a CAD folder separated into the types of drawing files and reference files that you're going to need, and then within each one using descriptive naming as well as dates as much as possible. In our production drawing, this is where you're going to save all of your production DWG drawings. Within the references, this is where you're going to have XREFs. You can separate them between DWGs and images, as well as any other, say, PDFs or details that you're referencing into your drawings. Then you've got something for check plots. This is where you're going to be check plotting your drawings to see how they're looking, catching any errors before you submit them or get them reviewed. Again, you're going to want to date and give a description to each folder, and then put your PDFs or check plots into there. Next up is the Civil 3D folder. This is where you're going to keep any of your Civil 3D specific modeling files. This is going to be grading and alignment files, surfaces, existing surface, proposed surface, that kind of thing, profiles, sections, all of those can be in here. You can even split those files up within folders within this folder to keep things even more organized if you're going to be working on a large project. And then lastly here, I've got data. This is where you're going to store any of the big data that's coming in. You're going to give it a date. You're going to put your data shortcuts. You can put those in here. This is anything that doesn't quite fit into the others. And then source, finally here, is stuff that comes in externally. This is going to be base data that you downloaded, like the ECOPIA data we're going to be working with a little bit later, imagery that you downloaded off of the provincial or a government site or a city site, as well as, say, surveys. You're going to date them and say who it came from. This is going to keep everything structured where you can find your drawings, but this is also going to make it super easy to zip this entire folder if needed to send or archive this project. Everything is going to be kept in the correct folders. The drawings are still going to work because the folder structure stayed the same, and you're never going to be searching around for those pesky drawings that have just gone missing. Spending 5 to 15 minutes at the start of your project thinking through the project organization, making a few notes, and then creating that folder structure, or using your typical template and making a few tweaks is going to save you hours later on in the project. Along the same lines of organization, the second mistake I see a lot of designers still making is copying or putting everything into 1 or 2 drawings for their design. Having everything in a single drawing not only slows things down, but it also makes it difficult for new users to hop in and understand where any of this data is coming from, how to edit things, and what's happening. Keeping things organized and not inserting all of your survey, all of your base data, your surfaces, your images, your alignments, having all of that in a single drawing is a recipe for disaster. That drawing is going to get cluttered, it's going to get huge, it's going to crash, and you're always going to have issues. Civil 3D has a ton of tools built in to make these kind of organizational situations less of an issue. What you're going to want to do is separate out everything into reasonable and common XREFs that make sense. Things like road line work or base topography should all be in an XREF of their own. Then you can bring in another XREF and have it full of just your legal lot lines. Another XREF can be used for 2D line work and contours that aren't 3D. And then you're going to have data shortcuts, which is another huge part of Civil 3D, and having drawings separated out for each shortcut is a great way to keep drawing file sizes small and prevent things from crashing. Splitting things out to like surfaces and then data shortcutting that into your drawing, which if you don't know, a data shortcut is just like an XREF, but it links Civil 3D style data into your drawing without putting all of that file size and clutter into the actual drawing. It allows you to label, work with, and even sometimes modify things like alignments, surfaces, pipe networks, and corridors without having all of those objects within your specific drawing. One great and quick tip for cleaning up a cluttered drawing is using the wblock command. This is going to allow you to select a specific type of object or a bunch of objects and block it out or right block it out. So this is going to basically automatically create your XREFs for you if you need to. So I've selected a building outline here. I'm going to choose select similar. So now all of the buildings in my plan here have been selected. If I use wblock, it's going to write a new block or a new drawing into a new file. So you can give it a path, call it building outlines, line work, or something like that. Give it a code, a drawing number, a name, whatever you need. You can choose the objects that you've already selected, or you can select new ones, and that's going to ask you if you'd like to convert them to blocks, which you don't need to do. You can simply retain it. So it's basically just going to take all of these objects and put them into a new drawing. Now you can also decide what you're going to do with them. If I want to delete them from my drawing, I simply click delete and hit OK. If I want to keep them, we can retain it. Hitting OK is now going to export it. It's going to ask if you want to keep the AutoCAD map information. You might as well, since you don't know what may come in handy later on. But now it's created another drawing in that folder path that has just these building outlines. Now you can delete them from this drawing and they're saved away and just simply reference them back in later when you need them. This keeps them separate but still in your drawing and up to date if they ever get updated or changed. Now, the third mistake that I often run into and many designers run into is that we just have poor existing base data. Now, this isn't necessarily our fault, but it is a major mistake when moving forward with any project. Having poor base data or a lack of base data is a recipe for issues and construction errors later down the road. Sure, you can use Google Earth sometimes to pull some information or get an image, but sometimes that's all you've got. And in many cases, this can be the most expensive mistake that we actually make because you're going to design off of a poor base plan or inaccurate data or imagery, leading to delays, issues, errors when you actually go to build this, or having to send out additional surveyors later on in the project, costing extra money. If we simply started with good base data right from the beginning, we'd eliminate all of that, and it also makes our job a ton easier when it comes to organizing and creating a efficient and cost-effective design. This is why today's sponsor, ECOPIA, is such a huge deal to me, and I'm excited to be sharing them with you on the channel. ECOPIA is an online platform that uses AI to extract objects and line work like road markings, sidewalks, building outlines, crossings, bike lanes, tree cover, and a ton more using AI from images and orthophotography. This data is accurate and up to date to the imagery date. It's going to save you a ton of time and give you that accurate base data that you need to keep your project on budget and on schedule. It's useful for things like transportation planning, permitting, safety analysis, civil and surveying, as well as it just simply saves you time. All of their data can be downloaded in Shape and DXF, making it easy to import and categorize within Civil 3D or GIS. I've used it already on a handful of projects and it's saved me a ton of time. This is great for any kind of consultants in civil, municipal, infrastructure, architecture, and more. If you haven't already, check them out using the link down below to solve your mistake number 3 right now. Next up is mistake number 4, and this is one that I still come across with drawings I'm sent from experienced designers, and that is not properly setting or keeping in mind the coordinate systems of your drawings. I'll still get surveys from surveyors who have processed a plan, sent me a Civil 3D file, and the coordinate system isn't even set, or things aren't even referenced. Nothing is more frustrating than having data and different base plans not line up properly because the coordinate systems aren't set or are all set differently. You need to make sure you have the proper coordinate system in Civil 3D set prior to doing any major design work. As you're setting up your files and your templates, make sure that the coordinate system is set from the start. It's not that hard. Type in a map CS assign, so that's coordinate system assign, and it's going to bring up the coordinate system dialog box. From here, you can check which code is currently assigned. If this is blank, that means you don't have a coordinate system assigned. You can simply search for the coordinate system you're looking for. If you're using UTM, like I tend to, simply typing in UTM is going to give you a list of all of the UTM coordinate systems available. If you happen to know the code, you can simply type in the code you're looking for. You can get these by searching in Google or an AI search bot. Figure out the coordinate system that your project is in and that the base data is in that came to you. Typically, you'll want to ask your surveyor which one it's using. Having this set from the beginning of a project is going to save you hours as well as a ton of issues and mistakes and headaches later on the road if your things are all shifted by 100 meters or 50 meters from where they should be in the real world when you go to produce production drawings. Mistake number 5 is never cleaning up your data or drawings. How many times have you run into a file where you've got hundreds of layers that aren't used and unneeded, or you've got survey points from various dates and you're not sure which ones came from where, nothing's organized? Make sure you use the built-in organization and descriptions available in Civil 3D. Almost every object or Civil 3D type object has the ability to add descriptions. You can add them here in the dialog box, simply giving a date. So we could call this one July 19, 2026 survey points. Giving something as simple as that is going to help you a ton later down the road when you're not sure where this data came from or if somebody else is working on your project. Another great tip is to use that purge and overkill set of commands. Purge is going to remove any unused layers, styles, line types, all of that crap that you don't need in your drawing, cluttering things up. Simply typing in purge and hitting enter is going to bring that up. You can select all or purge all, or you can go through the lists and purge things individually that are not being used and are unneeded, cluttering up your drawing. Same goes for overkill. That's going to delete automatically any overlapping objects that are identical. A lot of times when you're inserting or removing base plans and blocks, things can get doubled up or duplicated by accident. You'll be surprised how many objects overkill will track down and find and delete for you to keep your drawing clean. But getting rid of all of that stuff, as well as making sure to unreference or detach old references, old topography, old imagery that you're not using anymore, is going to keep your drawing cleaner and more organized for the next person. Alright, so almost at the end here, but mistake number 6 that you still see all the time is building things from scratch. Now, I may be a bit unique in that I create a lot of templates and I build them for other companies and people as well. But using a template is going to save you a ton of time. Your templates should include all of the typical blocks you use, all of the typical layout sheet sizes and title blocks you use, as well as things like typical details, typical notes, a cover sheet. All of that can be included in one or multiple templates depending on the type of project and work you're doing. But adding those to the DWTs template files is going to keep all of your drawings consistent and help you maintain a company standard where every drawing is going to look the same because all of your layouts are set up. All of your layers and line types are the same. All of your text styles carry over from project to project. This is a huge time saver and easily one of the simplest and quickest ways to keep a company standard throughout an entire project and team of designers working together. If everybody's using the same DWT starting point, you're going to get a much more consistent product. And lastly, we have mistake number 7, which honestly could have been near the beginning, but we're going to be doing it last to really drive home the point and importance of this one. It's closing out the video. And that mistake is only thinking about your production drawings and production at the end of a project. Now, many times we can all get excited, I know I do, about starting the design process. I like working in Civil 3D. I like building my corridors and gradings and setting things up. But if you do all of that before you really think out the production drawings you need to create at the end, it can lead to a ton of headaches and wasted time later on the road. Early on in the project, you should be sitting down and discussing with your project manager things like the sheet setup that you're going to have for your project. So that would be how many sheets you're going to create, what order are you going to put them in, what are the sheets that are needing to be included, do you need multiple detail sheets, do you need cross sections, do you need profiles, plans, notes, legends. All of these are things you need to think up early on in the project so you can set up your folder structure like this one here in the proper way, as well as set up your references and drawings in a way that makes sense. Having things split out into separate drawings is going to help with this, but it's not going to solve all of your issues. You really need to know what is going to be included in the drawing package before you start so you can start building those out in the right order. I always like to start by building out my existing plan, which is usually one of your first drawings. You're going to have an existing base data drawing, kind of like this one that we had started with the ECOPIA data, and then you're going to build on top of that. Later on, you're going to start adding in things like proposed ground or grading surfaces, the alignments that you're using if it's road structures or ditching. Then you're going to be cutting sections and using and creating profiles and corridors. So all of this is a logical step-by-step process, but unless you think of this at the beginning, it can be a lot of jumping around and kind of chasing your own tail as you try to create production drawings as your project manager requests them, instead of talking this up front, coming up with a timeline and a budget from the start, and really being able to stay on track and on target easily and efficiently. Whether you've been using Civil 3D for a few weeks or months, or even using it for years, there's always room to improve. Some of the biggest productivity gains in Civil 3D specifically don't necessarily come from learning a new tool or command. They come from just building a better workflow and production schedule. If you can organize your projects, start with quality data and eliminate any unnecessary rework with templates and standards. You'll save far more time than any individual command will save you, and you'll be a lot less stressed when it comes to meeting deadlines and delivering projects. I want to thank ECOPIA for sponsoring today's video. If you guys haven't checked them out, I really highly recommend checking them out at that link down below, trying out their service online, and downloading some data, trying it out for yourself. It's been a huge time saver for me, and I'm going to be using it on a ton of projects moving forward. Thanks for watching, have a good one, and cheers.